emendando uma coisa na outra.
Tem que fazer uma apresentação pra gente.
Beh, un'altra volta ho visto una cosa strana nel mio telefono, ma dunque, questa sera vado a parlare un'altra volta con Gabriela. Gabriela, come stai? Tutto bene?
Sto bene, tu?
Tutto bene, tutto a posto, ma fa freddo. Ti piace il freddo? Abbiamo parlato riguardo di questo, davvero?
Mi piace, però io preferisco il caldo, il giornata calda.
Vabbè, dunque andiamo a parlare forse riguardo alla cosa che farai dopo, più tardi, oggi, questa sera, per esempio. Dimmi, cosa farai più tardi?
Più tardi io preparerò la cena, io farò la doccia, forse leggere la Bibbia, forse riordinare la stanza e non lo so.
Va bene, va bene.
Ecco,
E cos'altro possiamo... Forse domani. Riguardo di domani, cosa farai domani? La stessa cosa che farai oggi? No, sarà diverso domani. Domani sarà...
diverso.
Vabbè.
Domani io vado in viaggio con i miei genitori al nord-est. Noi andiamo di macchina perché lì fa molto caldo, però qui dove abito fa molto freddo
Fa molto freddo.
e io preferisco caldo.
Va bene. Dunque, hai detto che preferisci una giornata caldissima. Freddo non ti piace. E cos'altro? Puoi dire un'altra cosa riguardo di te che non lo so. Forse hai detto sul andare in bici. Non è vero? Che ti piace questo?
Sì, mi piace andare in bici al mare.
Al mare? Vabbè. Cos'altro? Hai detto un'altra cosa adesso che sto provando di ricordare. Forse hai detto... Ricorda l'altra cosa che hai detto. Hai detto... forse riguardo di passeggiata. Ricordi questo? Hai
Sì,
detto... Che cosa hai detto?
mi piace tanto fare una passeggiata con i miei cani.
Quanti cani hai?
2.
Due? Donna mia, perché due?
Ah,
Bene,
no,
interessante per te
non
due.
tenevo più.
Vabbè, vabbè. E dove sei adesso?
Sono di San Paolo.
San Paolo. E appartamento o vivi
Casa.
in casa, va bene.
No, casa.
Anch'io. Vabbè, dimmi, non lo so, un'altra domanda che posso fare per te. E la prossima settimana, cosa farai la prossima settimana?
Mm, fammi vedere. Forse trovare i miei amici, forse
Bere
fare
qualcosa
una
insieme?
passeggiata, non lo
Fare,
so. Non lo so.
fare una passeggiata insieme?
Eh,
Mm,
sì.
vabbè, vabbè. Dimmi soltanto per finire. Dimmi, fare una introduzione. Per le persone che non conosci, per esempio. La persona che sta ascoltando adesso
Sì.
e...
Ciao, mi chiamo Gabriela, sono brasiliana e abito in San Paolo. Io ho 20 anni, io abito con i miei genitori e la mia sorella. Lei ha 25 anni
25 anni.
E che mais? Mi piace cani, mi piace leggere, guardare film,
Davvero?
Mi piace
E leggere...
andare in beach.
Andare in beach, davvero? Ha detto questo diverse volte. E ricordo adesso che un giorno ha detto sul... Ciao, come stai? Tutto bene? Tutto a posto qua. Guarda, questo lì è una chiesa. Si chiama così in italiano. Adesso parlerò su una ragazza che ho trovato. Ho incontrato una ragazza che vuole imparare tedesco dopo, ma che non le piace francese. E questo è un po' strano, perché lei solo ha che rompere i pregiudizi sulla cultura francese. Dunque, questo è troppo importante di parlare a volte. Pregiudizi. Non è facile, sembra facile di capire, ma in realtà questo è davvero difficile. È importante di parlare riguardo di questo. Un'altra giornata e adesso in italiano. Allora, perché dobbiamo capire di più su noi stessi? Questo è davvero una domanda importante da fare. E sono qui nel centro commerciale e facendo una camminata. No, la verità questo è sbagliato. Facendo una passeggiata. Perché in spagnolo si dice puedo decir que voy a hacer una caminata. Dunque, questo è in spagnolo. L'italiano è diverso, fare una passeggiata. Ecco. Allora fa freddo qua e vado a ritornare a casa per mangiare. Cucinare qualcosa da mangiare. Eu pretendo, eu tô com 36 anos, eu pretendo aos 40, até chegar nos 40, desenvolver bem a habilidade da culinária. É uma habilidade que eu não tenho ainda.
Ah, ok.
Eu cozinho todos os dias.
Sim.
Todos os dias eu cozinho, mas eu não. Mas eu faço o básico, né? Básico de academia, de musculação, o ovo cozido, peito de frango, o arroz e tal.
Sabe que é muito fácil a fazer é massa homemade massa. É solo farinha de trigo,
Farinha de trigo
com ovo e água e sal. É todo. É muito trabalho.
E o cara, ele tem muita força, cara. Ele tem muita energia. Henk tem muita energia, tem muita força. Pra mim é um prazer realmente conhecer. Foi muito bom. Vou levar essas memórias pra minha vida. I'm gonna to keep these memories in my life, the experience, how happy you are, the energy that you have, the story. Unfortunately, you guys didn't get the story that he told me in the kitchen. He was explaining the story about his uncle, right?
Oh yeah, that was sad.
It's a little bit sad, the story, but at the same time it is, you know, thinking about life, the experience.
Yeah. All right.
So,
it happens, you know. People, you know, sometimes, as we say in English, shit happens.
Shit happens.
And you deal with it, you know, you do what you have to do. And in some cases, the easiest way to deal with something is to not deal with it. You know, just to check out of the hotel, as it were.
All right.
Yeah, because it's got bad room service. No.
Yeah, we were talking about depression. So, because I think everyone, you who is watching this video right now, probably you felt sadness once in your life or maybe more. Nowadays, it's pretty common this. So we need to talk about this. You need to talk. If you're not feeling well, try to
talk to someone.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I was saying that on my birthday in 2021, I was so depressed that I actually called the suicide hotline. Not because I would ever hurt myself, because I'm really too much of a bisha to do that. But I would don't want to hurt those I love.
Yeah.
And but I just wanted someone to talk to that was not connected to me. So sometimes that's very important, that you have a neutral person to talk to about your problems, you know?
Yeah.
Because they don't know your history, they don't know, they're not going to be prejudiced either for you or against you. And
Memories from
whereas
the past.
people that you know,
Sometimes those
they
memories in the
can't,
past.
yeah,
maybe-
they can't forget that sometimes. So it's good to have an anonymous person to talk to sometimes.
Yeah.
And
sometimes people are a little bit afraid of doing this because
Yeah.
like I need to pay. Sometimes, but you don't need to pay. Sometimes
No,
it's just
yeah.
someone that it's funny talking about this. Sometimes you are buying something at a store or drinking a cup of coffee or just doing some exercise like at the bank front.
Right.
And you have a conversation. Sometimes
Right.
you can get that moment to explain something, to talk
Right.
about something.
Right.
Maybe that person is going to realize that the other person just wants to talk, and
Right.
then you're going to do something that eventually going to feel much better.
And sometimes they come up with something that, like for example, in my case, I was talking to this person and this counselor, and he told me, he said, you have what is called a savior complex. It
Oh, I
means
heard about
that I want to save
Everyone.
everyone that I can. And I think, at one point, I told this to my sister, and she said, oh, that's just your ego. And I went, well, thank God some people have that kind of a savior complex, because if they didn't, we wouldn't have policemen, we wouldn't have firemen,
Yeah.
we wouldn't have doctors, teachers, because a lot of people who do those kind of jobs, they want to help someone, they
Yeah.
want to make someone better, they care, and
Yeah,
you can take it to an extreme, which obviously I
course.
do, but never mind.
No, but they need to think more than just themselves, right? They need to think
Right.
about the other person, how it's empathy.
Right.
It's another level of
and
empathy. Right?
I am the kind of person that will, even though I don't have money, I will give money that I have, that I need, but I will give it to someone who needs it more and not have it for myself. I mean, I know that's a little crazy. Some people would say I'm crazy, but that's just the way I'm built. I do that. When I was a child, my father came home one day, and he had a
I like
box.
this part.
He had
Listen,
a box.
listen.
He had a box of fudge sickles. These are kind of a fudge flavored ice cream on a stick.
All right.
So I went outside to share with my friends, and I was sharing with my friends, and suddenly I realized I didn't keep one for myself. And I went back home crying.
How old were you?
I was
How
like
old?
5 or 6.
5.
And so it's from a very early
did he
age
get-
that I've had this.
Did he get angry with you?
Oh, no,
Why did
not
you do that?
angry. No, we didn't get angry and like, oh, that's so bad. Did he go buy me more? I don't think so.
No, I don't.
But I don't remember, but I don't think so. But
Funny.
like I said, I will give someone my last dime, even though I need it, and I don't think it's a bad thing.
No,
But
it's
on
not.
the other hand, I have had people do such great acts of. Well, I was in
Of course, there's a balance.
yeah, of course.
You cannot,
I was at a supermarket one time in Oklahoma City, and there was a woman before me, or was she? Maybe she was after me, and I looked at it, I said, "Oh my God!" I realized I had left my wallet in the car, or maybe at home. I don't know.
Where was it? Here?
In a supermarket. No, in Oklahoma.
Oh.
And the woman says, "Don't worry, go on. I'll take care of it." And it was like $17. I mean, it wasn't $2 or $3. It was $17. It wasn't a small amount of money,
Okay, all right.
but that's 100 reais, right?
Yeah, something.
And anyway, so
Here's something.
yeah,
The other day it happened with me in the supermarket. But
Yeah.
The guy paid to me, but what I thought I felt it was a good action, but I thought, man, you could try to do this with another guy because I
Right.
was okay.
Right.
But even though I of course I noticed that the action was good because I was having trouble with I think it was my cell phone, because usually I pay with my cell phone. And I was having trouble to use the bank account. Then he paid, but I didn't want, but the action was so, it's difficult sometimes to describe. It was so natural, like, oh, it's okay. Money, it's not the issue here.
Do you know what we call that in English? It's called paying it forward. You pay it forward. So you do some kindness, not that
like karma.
Kind of, like karma. Not because you really expect to get
Something
anything in return,
Got it.
but you know that if you do good things, if you do good things are going to happen to you. That's karma. And if you do crap, you're going to get crap. So we can all pray that the ceiling of the White House falls down on Donald Trump. On his ugly orange head.
We were talking about Donald Trump, Barack Obama, and what is the pronunciation of I forgot, Carmilla, I forgot her.
Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris.
So we were talking about this crazy situation that we have now.
That the world, I mean, we Americans, of course, feel it intensely, but all of this actions will affect the world, the whole world. I mean, because it just will, I mean, not that I think America is such a great world leader, blah, blah, the most important thing in the world, but what happens in America trickles down and affects the rest of the world, no matter where you are.
I heard.
Those poor penguins, I feel so sorry for them.
I heard this once in a documentary in the place that I said to you, the cultural center. Close to the
Siki.
I went there once, but maybe 6 years ago. But the documentary was pretty good, which the guy said that when Brazil has a problem, some economy and all the other problems, the whole South America also has this problem. Peru, Argentina.
Sure.
So when Brazil, it's not okay because Brazil is a huge country.
Yeah.
More than 200 millions, right?
Yeah.
And then when we are having the problems that we're having right now, all the other countries around are also suffering.
Are affected.
So it's
somehow
interesting, right? Sometimes we don't realize it.
Even though they don't speak Portuguese.
And sometimes they don't like the idea. And I remember that I went to a supermarket once, and then the girl from I don't remember now the country, but she said, I don't know why you guys don't speak Spanish. You're the only guys that speak Portuguese. You're supposed to speak Spanish. Like she was complaining about it, and I thought, how interesting. I never heard about this. Like we are the only one who speak Portuguese from Portugal, and then all the other countries Spanish. So they don't like the idea that we speak a different language. Like you guys supposed to speak Spanish.
Right.
So it's a little bit funny this.
Yeah.
And just to finish to get to the last part.
Yeah.
You know the time, right? I don't want to.
Yeah. So about 1:45. We got.